I'm master of the ring, it's no big thing. With my weapon I swing, pain that I bring would make the bard sing. Some called me the king, but you don't have to call me that. It was the name the fans had for me, you know. You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer. I don't tell any lies, I'm massive in size. I think it's quite wise when my hammer flies. The naughty goblin dies, the pretty lady cries, but I can compromise, because I'm really cool and like to do my thing, you know. You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer. I can dance a jig, I can laugh real big, I can snap you like twig, put you in the brig. I don't wear a wig, I do eat like a pig, though please not that fig. I'm really not a fan of those day-type fruits, you know. You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer.
Once ruled in Kulain's hall. His light was brightest of them all. Fate's cruel knife in sudden strife severed his faith, ruined his life. Turned stone in endless dark, his soul alone. Hollow days turned endless night, no way back to the light. He fell against the gale, abandoned, lost and pale. In blackness terror stride, all he did was hide. He dwelled in black and void. His life's work was destroyed. With the final mournful wail, he crossed the shadow veil. Hold veil.
"There's more for you to do," she said, and he was turned away. The frightful journey racked him, his skin turned ashen gray. She gave him ancient lore, miracle of widden root. He bound his soul with arcane tattoos, inked from head to foot.
Has he found purpose once again? Helping, healing, blessing, guiding. Along the alleys, cold and bleak, I learned to stand up for the meek. Never one to start a fight, now call to bridge its light. When that stone dropped on Arabelle, they had me headed for a cell. Bridget made her first demand, to break my chains and make a stand. I'm champion of Bridget's might, I carry her flame shining bright. Justice by day, peace by night, I vow to make this right. Once an urchin, now I glow with the strength that will not fade. I don't know why she chose me, but I'm glad to be her blade. I won't forget my former life, filled with hunger, pain, and strife. For those abandoned and alone, I'll be your hearth and home. I'm champion of Bridget's might, I carry her flame shining bright. Justice by day, peace by night, I vow to
All right. I should be coming in now. Make sure I've got sound for all of us. All right. All right. So welcome and welcome back, Mythlanders, both players and viewers alike. We're in session 28 now of Goblin Stone. When last we left off, after a celebration with people being reunited and the party somewhat being able to count some of their blessings and look at who all they had saved, and a relative quiet in the neighborhoods around, suggesting that the party had in fact had a pretty large impact on this goblin invasion. After hearing their praises sung by the dwarven bard Baraduin, caught her speaking in thieves' cant with a newcomer, a halfling named Palin. One who was, not very well known, not very well trusted. After sending there was another halfling also named Uton, who you all weren't too sure about, but you all caught them all speaking thieves' cant to each other. And soon, you caught Baraduin speaking thieves' cant to Palin specifically. Some plotting of some sort. You only caught the terms, the phrases, everything's ready, and wait until they're asleep. You've all decided to array the party arrayed themselves around the inn and confronted the bard. It went very bloody very quickly. The dwarf exhibited supernatural strength and had the same foul scent about her that the mutated goblins that the party fought deep beneath the stone on the bottom floor of the Tower of Ogma. The ones who had no lips and sharpened teeth, mouths open in silent screams. They had this sort of more putrid scent. Most of the goblins of the stone have a strange scent, their blood does anyway. But a few, these mutated goblins and this bard, have a much stronger scent about them. After some thinking about and talking over what you all knew, you suspect it's a substance called Faystone, something that's like crystallized magic that can be used to enhance the power of potions, craft magical items more quickly. But for people who are more crude in their approach and don't have sort of knowledge of arcana and things like that, alchemy, they could simply crush it into a powder and eat it, and it will give them strange powers. They don't really have, you don't think there's any control over what powers you get, just that it alters you and also changes you, not always for the better. So you all suspect there's something like that happening. And you suspect a connection between, or well, perhaps you don't. I'll leave that unsaid. But what about you all? What do you all recall from last session? And what are you all thinking to do this session? Several things were pointed out. You know, there's activity in the docks. There's what you all have coined the Trader's Manor, which you all have the location of. And of course, there's the stone and all that's happening in there. Foremost in your minds are the relics that are being tainted for the goblinoids to use against the city. And, a few of you feel pretty strongly about that as well. But what did I leave out? Pon, did you have anything else that stood out? Anything you can recall for? Go ahead.
I was looking at my notes, and they're mostly technical notes about things I need to do to my character sheet. Other than the fact that the bard smelled very badly. Mm-hmm. Apparently that was most important. Yeah, and that we all got our good berries, right? I wanted to make sure we all got our good berries.
Good cheeses.
Good cheeses, yes, thank you, because I did that at the end of the day.
Yeah, everyone go ahead and make sure you have one, or however many you gave away.
I don't think I specifically said. So when you cast those, it's like 10 of them. So everybody take however many you want.
That'd be 2 each.
Yeah.
If you wanted to divide it evenly.
Yeah, that sounds great. Does that leave me with 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Excellent. What about you, the locator? Anything left out? Any questions for you?
Nope, pretty much covers it. We got X would. I think there's still like a little bit of help in the square that X would want to give, but I'm ready to get back to adventuring whenever. I was kind of surprised at the tenacity of this character that didn't want to be captured, caught, or slow down her her killing spree at all. So I think the guards had come, right? We have to talk them down out of a tree as to, or the innkeeper or something had come and raised an alarm about us.
The innkeeper had cried murder.
Yeah, so
End of last session.
My recollection is we're going to be making some persuasion checks or something like that. So, yeah, ready to go.
All right, heck yeah. Lokag, how about you, Big Bri?
Well, I loved Bardwin. She showed me that she was a strong woman, and now her limp, lifeless body lays in my arms as I cry to the sky. I will remember her forever.
Hats off to true love. Any other questions? Anything else for you, Big Bri?
No, that was it. Everything else has been said that I had in my notes.
And a sad yet triumphant end of the session for Lokag, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, J Fink?
Yeah, I think pretty much everything's been said. I know Lokag went out the window there at one point in time during the fight. And then, yeah, we tried to get kind of a stealthy sneak in and attack. That didn't really go our way. So.
True enough, yeah. The battle was pretty short and pretty tense. But fortunately, you had a couple of you in the chamber outside, a few of you on a rooftop outside, Clifford and Helena. And you all, managed to take the druid down. But yeah, like you said, not before Lokag was thrown bodily out the window. Woman was strong enough to pick Lokag up with one hand. So coming back over onto the map, currently, sort of, in the large, only 3-story building, which is the that's elven structure. That's the inn. And heavy-set man with thick mutton chops, balding. Obviously, half dressed from just having thrown something over his night clothes. Is staring wide-eyed. He's sort of in the doorway, looking at, looking at the corpse of the druid, looking at Lokag inside the broken window. Millie and X are probably on either side of the door. You've murdered the... Ha! He starts backing away, but then kind of stops at X, obviously terrified and not wanting to move past him. He throws his hands up and screams again, "Murder! Murder!" Kind of backs up against the wall. Who responds?
Probably this individual is not who they seemed.
His eyes snapped to you. Millie! How could you? What? Make a persuasion check. He's clearly already has a story in his head about what happened. Side of perhaps bloodshed among, the survivors and defenders is too much for him.
You too.
Ah, nice. There. It just took a moment for it to pop up on my end. Well, Edwin stops screaming. His hands are still up, he's still back up against the wall. And his eyes lock on Millie. For a moment, he's just sort of speechless. He's just, hanging on your words.
When we first met them, they asked many interesting questions, but none that seemed out of place for lore seekers, I suppose. However, there was a odor about them that we had noticed a little later on that had been noticed in the stone. We caught that she was communicating with some of those other halflings, those Halen and the other one in Thieves' Cant, and they seemed to be up to something. Our intention was not to kill her, mainly, merely to ascertain and entangle, ask questions and see what was happening, but as we entered the door, she attacked with enough ferocity to throw our large friend Lokag here out of a window with one hand. It did not seem like talking would stop what seemed to be inevitable bloodshed.
Kav takes a deep breath and looks out the window, or looks toward the window, kind of looks at Lokag, who's all, cut up from the window and
Still holding this body.
yeah, and sort of cradling the body. He seems to take in Lokag's posture and everything, and you can see some of the tension drain out of him. And then moments later, he gets a kind of a sickly complexion and darts off, boots on the stairs. He likely is heading down to the privy or somewhere. He looks like he's going to be ill.
Millie just looks at X and kind of shakes her head and goes, was there another way to do that, to handle that?
It smelled really bad. That would be my guess.
He can't handle true love.
True what? Says Clifford. Kind of, he was like behind Helena as you probably hopped the lip over to the next roof and climbed up toward, peeking in through the broken window. So Clifford's a little bit back behind you and can't really hear what's happening. So what does Helena do or say anything as she kind of scrambles up toward the window, maybe through the window?
Oh, yeah, she definitely did that, and adds her final commentary as he's walking out the room. Like, I really think it's just that they smelled that bad. That's probably why they left very upset. That's why I want to leave right now, very upset.
Clifford kind of waves his nose as he climbs into the room. Yeah, that ain't good. Not what I'd call pleasant. So the innkeeper's no longer shouting. He doesn't immediately return. What does X do or say? Anything to the group? Does he suggest anything?
With regards to, explaining our case, or with what to do next, or what?
Yeah, what to do next? He doesn't seem like he's not, screaming murder to everybody. There might be some other people that heard the shouting that might question you later at some point. But you don't hear a big bunch of hubbub. You hear some people talking downstairs.
I mean, not in a disrespectful way, but I think we can solve all that by removing some of her clothes. I assume that her flesh is like mutated or something if she feels like a rock and is that strong.
Yeah, if you
Right.
just start to like roll her sleeve up, or like the
Yeah,
sleeve's button
exactly. So
on, you can unbutton the
just kind
sleeve
of
and
just give him a look at that, you know, nuclear arm she's got going on, and that should solve the questions. And X would just say something like, "Clearly, this one works for the stone and has no place in the square."
as you begin to kind of unbutton the sleeve and pull it off, what you see at first doesn't make any sense. It looks like a mass of red, like slag glass, like it's just almost like a pile. There's sort of, you can see, yeah, it just looks like some substance was sort of puddled together and hardened. As you kind of strip the sleeve off, light shines through it. You can see bone in the arm here and there, but it looks like pieces of the bone have been dissolved by whatever the other substance is that comprises like 70% of her arm. There's still bits of flesh here and there, and when you look through the crystal, you can see the underside of that flesh, and some of it was consumed, and some parts of the original arm were just encased in this glass-like substance. It still has a pale, like, or a dim red, like sort of crimson glow that's fading very, very slowly, or very quickly. I mean,
Do you think they were prisoners at one point? Changed or possessed to do this?
I wonder, what if this is meat for the masters? Bodies, I don't know, working for the masters, zombie people, goblins, things. That's my working idea.
It's a very generic phrase, I suppose. I thought they were going for very specific, but you have a good point.
I mean, it's just that smell,
It must be a bad smell.
Lokek, have you been thrown in too many cow pies to notice?
Well, it doesn't work like it used to. Down here, off the mountains, the air is so thick it's hard to distinguish any smells.
That's sensible.
yes, city air. All the folks packed together, says Clifford. You can smell what everyone had for breakfast yesterday.
I had eggs.
I know. He kind of points to some on your kind of cake to your armor.
Well, this does make me a little worried for Har and Win. I figured they were just people out to, steal something or get one up on unfortunate others, but if Palin and the other one, that's name is escaping me, are also like this.
None of y'all notice that smell coming from the other halfling, Uten.
Okay.
Just Palin.
Palin was divinely selected.
Perhaps there are some answers in this room that could give us light.
Answers are everywhere. Trouble is looking in the right place for them. That might be a good suggestion, though, says Clifford.
Aren't you a master finder of things, Cliff?
Well, certainly. what do we want to find first? We're looking for the relics. They're pretty important. We got some traders holed up in this house, and I wouldn't be surprised if this bard and whoever else, this Palin, weren't somehow involved with the traders' manor.
I was thinking more locally, like on this person in their room. I think low keg. That's a good idea.
Right. And I am lead investigator, and I want to make an investigation check on her person.
Okay.
Excellent. I've...
Say 5.
Yeah.
Okay. That she's got about 35 silver in one pouch. She's got 3 gold tucked into her sash, folded into it. She's got a dagger. You pull it out and check it, and it is covered with some dark yellowish, sort of inky substance. Looks like it's been poisoned. There's another dagger that has not been poisoned. She's wearing a small, beaten steel amulet. It's pretty roughly crafted. There is sort of like a bust, like head and shoulders of what looks like, it's not a lot of details, but it looks like an armored figure, someone wearing plate armor. There is one oversized eye, sort of scrawled inside the visor of the helmet, and there's a large sort of stylized X over the other eye. Looks like a one-eyed figure. You've heard a few of them speaking about the one-eyed, a few of the goblinoids anyway.
I feel like Lokag is going to take the silver and the gold, and he's going to place them out and think, there's got to be something here. 35 pieces of gold. What could that possibly mean? And so he's just going to go off into a corner and try and figure out the puzzle of why she has those certain numbers of coins.
Nice.
To just get out of the way and let the party do something useful.
Oh, I have an idea, and I don't like it myself, but it's a good idea. And she calls Bubby to her side and says, "It's real bad. I'll reward you, I promise. Can you track this scent?" And she holds Bubby over towards the deceased bard.
He kind of turns away. He's trying to turn away from it. I could smell it fine. I could smell it fine from here. I could smell it from down the hall, outside. I know that scent anywhere.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, what is it?
Well, it smells like the dark, ugly house, the forbidden basement. We followed that one stranger into. You know, when you first had me running off and being brave.
You were so brave. You're so brave right now. So it goes back to that house. Well, that helps. And she turns. What was the house called again?
You all have just been calling it the Trader's Manor.
So we know that it's the Trader's Manor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then she wouldn't recite that then.
Yeah, he's describing the same spot.
Well, we tried. Thank you, Bubby. And gives Bubby a piece of cheese.
He takes it in his little hands, paws, and nibbles on it. Well, he probably climbs up onto your shoulder and gets up underneath your hair where he's all cozy. Starts nibbling away on his cheese.
Yes, I'll look around the room, see if there's anything interesting to find about anything they were trying to plan here.
Okay. Go ahead and make that investigation check with advantage, as Clifford's helping with that.
That's good. Let's see what a +0 will do. 18.
Nice. Okay. there is under the bed. There's a small case. It's like hardened leather. It's got a couple of snaps. It opens up. Something like a suitcase. You don't find anything else. It's like no floorboards that have been pried up or anything like that. The wardrobe has has a cloak and heavier boots. Stuff for traveling. The boots they look like they've tromped around in the sewer and not been entirely well cleaned.
Interesting, but no different than our boots, probably.
Fair enough, yeah.
All right, I'll open this suitcase thing.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw as several
Excellent.
forms blur, leaping out onto your forearms and the ground around you.
So close to a 13, but it's a 3. I'm going to spend my inspiration. I'm going to spend my 2024 heroic inspiration and roll that again, I guess.
Okay.
Unless you want to burn those as dailies. I'm fine with that as well.
That's fine.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
A 20.
Nice.
So with the 18s.
Okay.
It's a loaded dice.
All right, just a moment. You take 2 points of piercing damage as the fangs of several large, for us, maybe 5 inches across, legs and all, spiders leap out, bite at you. Some of them drop to the ground, and most of them scatter away. They don't bite deeply enough. You move, kind of fling them off, and so you suffer no poison damage or anything like that.
Yeah. You keep spiders in a case.
Yeah, they scurry off around Lokag, sort of past underneath his feet to the far wall underneath the wardrobe. Right inside the case is a small metal pot with a lid. It seems sort of beaten and bent. It's got a leather-wrapped handle. There's ash sort of around the lip of it. There's a small wooden kit. You kind of flip it open. It's a makeup and disguise sort of face paint kit. Another smaller case has 4 vials in it. One of them you think is a potion of healing. The others you think might be poisons, or maybe one of them is an antidote.
Anyone good at identifying these?
Nature or survival could help.
Maybe.
Or medicine.
X can tell if it's a healing potion.
One of them certainly is a healing potion. And you think it's a potion of greater healing.
I'm no good at these natural things.
Yeah, the other 3 you're not sure about, really.
X will take the greater healing with the assumption that he'll be giving it to someone else.
Is that all right with everybody?
Yep. I'll
Oh,
hand off the poisons or antidote, whatever it is, the other 3.
Yep.
To Polina. If you can identify these, or if you and Cliff can put your heads together.
Yeah, I could give it a try. You
So-
said nature?
nature, survival, or medicine.
I'm having a terrible time with the new character sheets. Where is that?
Just a moment.
I think I found it. Let me see. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, medicine's a little bit better. Why is my nature so bad? I'm Helena. Anyway.
How's your survival? I thought your survival was pretty high.
I just don't trust it because everything's switched over. Oh, survival's good. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
use
you got
that
plus
one
4.
then. Doesn't matter.
All right. Well, Clifford could take a look if someone wants to roll a d20 for him. And then barring that, you could take it to the apothecary and see what they know.
I think Lokag will take a glance at it as well.
Okay.
Dang it.
Wow, we're really good at survival today.
Here. Oh. I can roll a d20 for Clifford.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Give me those, he says. This right here is, yeah, I've seen one of these before. This is obviously, that's a nearly universal antidote. It'll work on everything except a purple worm poison. He sets it down on the counter. This one is,
Purple worm.
don't distract me, he says. Now, this one here is your sort of run-of-the-mill. Not quite as strong as something like a giant spider poison. It's not going to do much, but, might kind of sicken and poison them. And this one right here is either... Well, that actually might be, he says, sniffing it really closely, dipping the tip of his dagger into it and sort of looking at it in the light. That actually is giant spider poison. Pretty potent. Got a couple of stabs each. Maybe 2 or 3 arrows each, depending on what you wanted to use. And this one's just gonna hurt unless they're real weak. And then it might paralyze them. Not a good chance in that, though. Goblin's pretty hardy.
That sounds like something either you or Helena would probably be more adept at using.
Well, I don't know, Helena. I don't think you don't actually carry any crossbow bolts, do you? That
Well,
crossbow just makes light arrows of light.
okay. That's a fun question, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was using bolts that turn into light. I'm cool with not using bolts because I don't know where they're at on my character sheet, but
You can, but you don't need them. So if you wanted to use poison bolts, you could rack a bolt onto the slide and fire it.
would that not do the same thing as the light, though?
Yeah, it would do a little bit extra damage, but it would still have a physical presence, and would still do your D8 of piercing if you used a regular arrow.
That's pretty cool. Unless somebody else wants some more. I just don't know where to put stuff. I don't want to bring that up right now.
Okay, we can add it later. I've got a note right here. So
All right, cool.
You got a weaker and a stronger poison.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Note: DM will poison Pon Pon later.
I'm always trying to kill my players. I mean, my characters.
No.
All right, so X, what about you? 'Cause I believe you all had rested, right, and gotten up to do this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, early morning attempt at. Yeah, so X is going to determine, I don't know if there's anybody in the town that does resurrection or if we're even interested in that, but I really would have liked to take this person prisoner and talk to her. it doesn't seem possible now. But maybe X would pray a little bit and see if Matcha's in a talkative mood today, and maybe she could help or give me some inspiration as to whether or not there's like a whole cult of these people, or if this is just kind of a one-off of the people who are like, modifying themselves is what I mean.
Okay. So you can expend a portion of power to try to, get a conscious link with Matcha.
Sure, I'll do it.
A spell or a channel divinity or some other class-based ability would work. What would you try to use?
I'll sacrifice a channel divinity because I'm in a way trying to channel divinity. So, sounds good.
Okay. You balance the scales quickly, X. You have exceeded my expectations already. You have taken not one, but 2 targets without the need of my blessed arrows. I will answer one question for you, since you have done so well.
Are there more people this corrupt within the town square?
Within the square? I do not think so. Unless their powers to hide are vast. I think not.
I think that's exactly what X was looking for. So it's not like a massive conspiracy. We've got a house of traitors to deal with, but there's not poison within the town square people. So I think I'm happy with that.
Okay. Should you go to the docks, keep those arrows close, my chosen one. Keep them close indeed. For 3 and sometimes 4 of their captains have been among those battling at the docks. Those captains also visit the dark temple beneath the stone to receive those relics of yours. She says, and you could clearly hear the disdainful tone when she talks about the relics and probably anything else that the bulk of the Tuatha left behind for folks.
All those highfalutin fancy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. So some of the leadership is fighting and battling down at the docks. And they're going back and forth between the stone.
Yeah.
Good information.
And yeah, as usual, that sense of connection with her, it vanishes as if something pulled away, leaving you somewhat cold after that feeling of warmth and connection. You know that she's still there, wherever she is, but her attention is not on you at the moment. So what does X, if any of this, say to the group? Or go ahead, whatever you want.
Yeah. I'll share that with the rest of the group for sure. I'll let them know that divinely inspired. It seems like this was the worst of the lot in the town, and we still have some known people to deal with, but the threat is not pervasive. And then I'll share with them the information that some of the other Goblin Stone leadership may be down at the docks.
Docks.
Well,
Oh, go ahead, Helena.
that sounds like I was going to have a similar reaction. Doc sounds like a turf that we can handle. I think we should go down there myself.
That's pretty promising. I'd like to hear what everybody else thinks, too. About Lokak, what does he think?
Yes, we can't leave this lingering and go to the stone. It's a chance the square may not be here when we get back if we don't deal with these creatures.
I agree, or else we might also come in behind us and block us from returning.
Well, I think some would be hard-pressed to stop us from getting anywhere with you and Helena around, knowing the city as well as you do, says Clifford.
Good to be seen.
Oh, I see you. But it's true. We don't want to have our way barred. We don't want any trouble rushing down on the square if we step out for a minute. Well, maybe it'd be best if no one saw us step out. Maybe then they wouldn't know to take advantage of our absence. Just thoughts, though. But I think the docks
Likely true. We don't know who's watching from the manor. Do we know whose house that used to be, if not still is?
You don't know whose it is. The house has been abandoned as long as you've been alive. Which, there's a few empty houses in Arabelle, but there's usually something wrong with the house.
We know any stories between Helena and myself?
Oh, tons.
Why we wouldn't have tried to crash there if we're a knight?
Absolutely. There was there's a bunch of stories that float around that house. The most recent one is that kids killed their parents. That story is, at this point, is from about, you were very little. So that story happened probably just before you all were alert. Maybe you were alive by, at that point, but but apparently it's not the only story. Let's see here. So, Fairheight Manor is what it's called. And the stories are that the Fairheights were involved with black magic. And the story of why the children killed them ranges from they killed them because they were into black magic, or because the parents were, or the kids killed them because the kids had gotten into this, some sort of evil, foul magic. And there's all sorts of urban legends about what that looked like, whether it was evil fae or devils or unspeakable things from nameless worlds. Sometimes all three in one story. What's common is that they made pacts with entities outside of this world. Fearful entities that granted them favors and powers that they, of course, did favors for and were shaped by. Sounds like a family of warlocks, kind of. And as you all were growing up, sort of in your teen years, it was definitely not a safe place. People disappeared when they slept there or stayed there or strayed there anytime other than like high noon, like high sun.
Otherwise, I would have made it my home.
Right?
Seems sensible enough.
And according to what Bubby has reported and the other rats have said, no rats actually live inside the house.
You know that's a bad sign.
Yep.
Well, maybe docks first and then manor, but I agree. Let's not be, we don't know what eyes they have. Perhaps, sneak out of here?
Not a bad idea. I prefer being covert. Follow the rats. Not a bad suggestion. I just heard it from the ether.
This being roughly where the square is, let me bring this up on stream for everybody. See if this works. Oh boy, that looks pretty rough on stream. There we go.
Why? Oh,
For some reason, it just did, yeah. So yeah, this being where your square is. The docks that you are looking at are down here. So you've got, 1, 2, 3, 4 city blocks to cross. Above ground, underground. And let me put, just to give some idea of a somewhat safe zone, I'll put it in orange so you know that it's not, or yellow, we'll say yellow. Because though there have been goblins testing y'all's defenses, none of your guards or anything have been attacked. So this area right around the square was pretty quiet that last night, letting you know that it's decently safe. And a slightly larger area, there were only a couple of fires in it. So within those areas, you should be decently safe. Chance of an encounter, but you'll have enough backup a few blocks away. It's not really that big of a deal. Once you get out of that area, that's when there's a chance of encountering goblins. I'll go ahead and put a... Well, actually, we'll put a... Yeah, put a red circle. Because there's fighting down at the docks. And of course, that big black blob is the stone itself. So overland, you kind of know what to expect. There's potentially going to be goblins. They might be holed up in places, setting ambushes, setting traps of different sorts. Underground, of course, you also know that primary difficulty is going to be slimes, since rats and all of the rat-type folk you're going to be able to deal with, at least Helena is going to be able to deal with.
Love all this rat love going on.
So, we got a couple of different options: underground, overland. It might be it's a straighter run if you're going overland, provided you don't make any encounters. There's lots more twists and turns in the underground, in the sewers. It's also more... You're also, going to get information about where the goblins are, where they're holding out, where their sort of concentrated areas of them are, at least in the region if you cross overland. So kind of a different set of options there. But either way, you have a good idea of what to expect when you get to the docks. There's going to be, from what you can see, a lot of goblinoids. There's going to be some burned out buildings, potentially more fires, and from all that you can tell, there is still fighting going on over there. So you're going to expect to find defenders and attackers, either in battle or resting between, depending on when you come. The goblins generally attack at night, but that lasts through the morning, so you can hear that there's still fighting going on at the docks.
So head to the docks, help our friends, perhaps find other people, then head off to the... Well, gets back, see how we feel, and perhaps head to the manor? Or take a rest and then head to the manor. It sounds like a scary place.
I'm all for that order of operations, and also, I think we should go above ground, because I'm just feeling in my heart that we don't want to deal with slimes right now, on top of everything else. Slimes are a pain in the butt. And even though that's my favorite terrain, slimes are a pain in the butt.
I feel like they get bigger the closer you get to water too, and they're just like massive over there.
I think they get filled with more malice the further we go about our questing.
Like hungrier, they're just getting hungrier and hungrier.
Oh,
so
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Angrier and angrier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel their pain sometimes.
Any thoughts from Lokag on what our preparations is going to the dock first? Sound good to Lokag, or is he really feeling a different location?
No, I think the docks make sense, and I'm just wondering if the glaive is ready or not yet from the forge. Seeing.
All right, so you go and check on it.
Yeah.
And you think it'll be... He says it'll be another day, he thinks.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I have my hammer. No big deal.
Yeah, well, let's see here. Just a moment. Yeah, Bell says that, well, it's... Most of the hard part is done. Learning how exactly to use the fire. Now that I do, I think you'll be pleased with the product. Sundown tomorrow, it should be finished.
Don't rush. Take your time. Just, I trust you. I see your work. It is very, very good, so I think you know best.
I do, but if you need a sword on a stick before you go, I can whip you something up real quick. It's not going to be pretty, but it'll work.
I think the hammer will do for this fight.
He looks up at the hammer over your shoulder. Yeah, I'd say hammer'd be fine. It's probably good. All right. Is there anything anybody else wanted to grab from town? I know, X, you mentioned there were some other things that you were kind of wanting to do in town. Well, chat is live, you all. I can barely keep up. I'll look up and I'm like, wow, okay, let me scroll up.
We're trying to figure out how to fling slimes at the enemy.
What has chat bought us today? No, I'm kidding.
A new idea, flinging slimes. I mean, that's...
Priceless.
Or hurting them.
Yeah, I like
Slime crossbow.
luring them. We could like build up a massive one and just slowly roll it over towards the sun.
You know, it fills my artificer heart with joy, but I've chosen a paladin this time.
Nice.
Well,
No, I think if the rest of the group wants to go to the docks, then X would wish to proceed there and ask what's up. You know,
Oh.
like what's up, Doc?
Let's all just sit with that one for a moment.
Should I roll for damage?
Emotional damage. 2d6 psychic damage.
Moving right along.
Alright, so... Yeah, just checking out last time. Is there any prep, anything you all wanted to grab before you all head off? Alright. Any orders you leave behind as you gather yourselves and your equipment and begin to head off?
Can I get chalk and a jar of honey?
You could probably get a little jar of honey. But Baba Bruin he doesn't let it go very easily because, you know, that's stuff he can brew with. But you talk him out of a couple ounce jar of honey. It's not a lot. What are you trying to do with it? Maybe there's a different solution.
It's just a universal handy thing to have on an adventure, you know?
Fair enough.
Off we go.
Okay.
It attracts the bees. Swing by the alchemists, see if they have any new potions. Though I think they said they were a few days out.
Yeah, from having a new from having
Batch.
having a new batch, yeah. But they have had other potions. Some pretty simple stuff. Bark skin potions.
I don't think those will help many of us.
Potion of Farstrider.
Yeah, we'll take that one.
Okay. They do still have plenty of anti-venoms left. Or antitoxins.
Usually, I'll grab 2 of those if they allow, just so I don't have to use my lay on hands for poison healing.
Okay, yeah. She tries to get you to take 4 of them.
That's fine. I will take 4 of them.
All right. Well, soon. I presume you are supplied and ready. Any last touches before you all head out? All right. All right, so as you gather yourselves on the eastern side of the square, one of the different barricaded ways out, likely having thought about your route to some degree, do you all want to... yeah, what's your marching order? Who's going to be out ahead scouting?
X and Cliff are usually up ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, since we're going the land route, it might be good to have you all sneak ahead.
All right, and are you all, are you going to try to move sort of stealthily, keep to alleys and stuff like that? Or are you all going to keep to the broader thoroughfares where you can have broader sight lines and stuff like that?
Split. It might be advantageous to do both. But kind of like keeping pace with each other at the same time, if that makes sense.
You saying like split up?
Not entirely. It's just like some of us kind of go off in the side, back alleyways but we're kind of like close to each other, like we're moving at the same pace and like, we're nearby.
Kind of like in view of each other, but not
Yeah.
quite together.
Yeah.
If that works in the city, might not be a bad idea.
Okay. Well then, X, I'd like to get your stealth and your perception. And then roll a d20 for investigation for Clifford.
You want me to roll that, or?
Well, X can roll his stealth and perception, or unless you want to do investigation for X.
I apparently can't roll anything. I have to reset.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna make another note and probably between sessions change back to the other out of jump gate because jump gate's real glitchy.
For me, it usually does this once per session, and when I reload it, I don't have any problems with it.
Okay.
It may be like you changed maps, and now I have to reload it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it seems to work after I reload.
Okay.
Oof. Some not fantastic rolls. Stealth 14, perception 12.
Okay. Okay. So you all begin to slip out from the square. Let me see if I can. You make it, slipping out of one of the eastern gates, and then of course making your way eastward. The closest thing to hand at first is alleys, so you are kind of maybe breaking into smaller clusters and slipping down through some of the alleys. Locag and X, you're likely watching, listening, and gesturing for your allies to move when you feel like it's clear. As the sun begins to rise, you hear different goblin battle calls that you've it's not, they're not saying anything in their language. There's just a certain type of shouting that you've taken to understand. It means they're done fighting in a certain area, or they've won, they were victorious. It's hard to tell which is which, because they seem to use the same call when they're done fighting, for now anyway. And so you can hear some of that, at least to the north, sort of over in this direction. Let's see if that show up. You see the smoke from several burning houses as well. as you creep up into the region, let me transition us over to a new map. Ooh, it's a little close. Zoom out. Gotta fix something really quick. Let's So you're forced onto a larger thoroughfare. There's sort of one further south, one further north. It's up to you which one you come out on. So you'll either come out, you're going to come out on the left, what side of the map. Either on this, here, or down here. Can you all see the map okay?
I can see it just fine.
Okay.
I can see it.
Yeah. Figure out where we're at.
Yeah, it just needed some adjusting.
Now, in this area, as you sort of move toward the docks, you've got almost clusters of buildings or houses in walled compounds. And as you get further toward the docks, it's large houses with like a large warehouse on the same property. Sometimes a warehouse with an apartment on top where either the guards or whoever owns the warehouse likely lives. Looks as if these have all been burned and looted. The calls you heard of goblins, were coming from this direction. In X, you can hear and see some of the goblins through the lower windows. Small fires burn up top. It looks like they were either partially put out or have just burned their way out. Of course, there's still smoke rising from them. But in the lower levels and along the walls and such, you can see movement. So far, just the size and shape for just regular goblins. None of the larger, more dangerous ones. So far that you've seen. Well, that's a shame, says Cliff next to you. Those were nice houses at some point. Well, should we slip on by them, or should we get the gang together and finish the job? No fixing those houses. We might could burn the goblins out. But we do have a job to do, so maybe we slip by. What does X say?
X is not a fan of being flanked on both sides by enemies. So, if we left the goblins alone here, would they be within shouting distance of where we're going for the docks, or are we like a long way away from the docks still?
Yeah, you're still pretty far away from the docks. I think it's 4 more blocks, and they're pretty large, blocks from here to the docks.
Okay, so these guys won't come running at the first sign of trouble. So
yeah, and if they do, it'll be rounds and rounds before they showed up.
okay, I don't want them to be right behind us. Okay, I'm for slipping by then.
Okay.
Team.
Okay, so in this area, where would you try to draw your allies through so that the goblins maybe wouldn't see them? You keep in mind you can't see. There's the cluster to the southeast. You can kind of see. There's a a well in that area, but you really can't see into that area to the center bottom of the map. So if you're going to take anybody through there, you might need to scout wherever you're going to take your allies through.
Yeah, I'll use the message cantrip from time to time to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would like to scout down toward the bottom, toward the south side
Okay.
path around.
Down. Okay. Well, you can go ahead and slip your token that way. Clifford will hang back, watch you, and copy any hand signals you give.
Okay, my token is insanely small.
It is indeed.
So I want to be like behind the houses over here, but I can't figure out how to put my token there. But basically, I'm going to go this route around.
All right, sorry about that view there on Discord. Map was glitching with me a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's off the map, but yeah, you can walk around and slip behind that. You do hear the gleeful sounds of chattering goblins. A sort of rhyming sing-song whine. And sort of mewling, petulant tones of several other goblins. Sounds like they're just around the corner.
Like this kind of corner. Ooh, it's not pinging for me either.
Yeah, like further sort of east around the side of that building, perhaps in the front of the building you're next to, or the next one over.
Okay, do I feel like we can get the group by them stealthily? Or will Millie's clomping alert them?
It's likely that Lokag or Millie's clomping will alert them.
Yeah, I'm not in heavy armor. I actually have good stealth.
Speak for yourself.
All right, we'll try to get by, and if we can't, we'll just smash some goblins.
Okay. So as you kind of come up to the edge of the building, peeking around, yeah, you can see there are 7 goblins. I'm sorry, there are 5 goblins. Wrong note. They're all out front of one of the buildings. The doors are thrown open, been broken off the hinges. There's some crates and barrels outside that have been ripped open. It looks like the goblins are continuing to loot or, going back over an already scoured area. They seem pretty distracted. But if the further you go south, there's an open plaza and the remains of tents and such. So there's not much to hide behind further south. So it looks like the best bet would be if you can take those goblins out quickly. But perhaps you could scout to the north too and see what's up there.
I don't know, I feel like if we go north, there's just going to be more goblins there as well. I'll send a message back to the group. I'll use the message cantrip to message Lokag. And I'll tell him we got some goblins up here we might need to deal with.
Does Lokag respond to that?
I'm waiting on. I put my token out, but I think I'm hanging back with the party. Yeah, just kind of, he's always ready to go, ready to take out some goblins.
All right, what do you say to the rest of the group?
Looks like there are some goblins up ahead. X has spotted them and so we have a decision to make.
Did he mention how many?
I said about 5.
So 5 of us. Perhaps we all just target one and try to sneak up, target one each, and try to hit them all at once.
What are Helena's thoughts about it?
The 5 for 5 deal. I mean, the goal is less goblins, I think, ultimately. And then that way they can't come and get us when we're doing everything else we're doing later. Stab them from behind, shoot them from behind, whatever we have to do.
All right. If everyone then is agreed, you can go ahead and make those stealth checks as you follow up and meet back up with X. Nice 23 stealth check for Millie. Nice 18 for Lokag. Nice.
No, that's not the right thing.
Tisn't.
I clicked it. It lied to me. Oh my god. Sorry. It's
all right.
not running well.
Yeah. Jump gate. I may, maybe sometimes refreshing it obviously helps, but
Done that a lot.
okay. Yeah, I think I will just transition back between before next week. Just clone all the maps back over. Well, just roll it manually. Roll a d20 and add your bonus.
I mean, it worked. I mean, I can see it anyway. It's terrible, so I want to take you up on that, but I'm
I just see
obligated.
deception checks.
There's still deception? Oh, weird. Okay. Let me just try one more time.
There's stealth check.
13. The stealth check. Nice. Okay. All right, managing a couple things in the background. Give me just a moment. All right. So I'll go ahead and cluster you all together. Let's see here. As you all creep across the old flagstones, the smell of wood char in the air, the crackling of small flames on top of the old warehouses. You move along the bluff, solid stone walls of one of the dwarven warehouses. You all cluster together, and yeah, you can hear one goblin sort of screech, not so much screeching, not incredibly loud, but sort of cackling in a mocking tones at the other goblins while they sort of grumble and whine. It seems as if the goblins found some prize, or is lording something over the other goblins. But yeah, you all can feel free to sort of cluster up around X and decide what you all are going to do before initiative happens.
Well, if I can, I think I'd like to try and maybe get around to the other alley, get a little closer, maybe even get up on this roof and come down, jump down on them for a big first slam.
Okay. So yes, you can slip around to the north, in between, the sort of alley between the two buildings. And yeah, make an athletics check to climb up onto the roof.
16.
Success. You managed to get up on the roof.
Scramble, scramble.
Your fingers meet the red stone shingles of the roof. You make your way up.
I kind of crouch low on the roof.
Which is good, because, yeah, there's goblins in the buildings to the north of you all. All right. What about Helena? How does she position herself?
I know I want to position myself where I can shoot them in the face as well as possible. That roof is not a bad place, but there's no way I can make it to the well without them seeing me, probably.
Probably not, yeah.
I don't want to steal X's corner. I feel like she would kind of do that. I feel like she... Wait a minute. Okay, so there's like this little balcony on this building we're right next to.
Yeah.
Right? I kind of want to get up on there. I like that angle. You know, like the sharpshooter angle, like right here.
Yeah. Make an athletics check to get up there.
Did I hear you right that Lokag spots some goblins on the roof to the north?
Let's see here. You can, as you look to the north, yeah, you can occasionally see movements in the bottom of these burned out buildings. And occasionally on the walled grounds a little bit.
Got it. Okay.
All of the movements are lazy and kind of sluggish. As if the goblins are worn out. All right.
My rolls aren't too great today.
All right. The 11 athletics check is not going to get you up there, unfortunately.
You know, I personally, as a player right now, I need this for morale, so I'm going to use my inspiration. Like, I'm tired of rolling like crap, and if it hits me again, I'm just going to have to take a deep breath. But let's go.
All right. Fingers crossed for you.
Oh my god.
That's the story the dice want.
Same one.
Oh.
All right. Make another stealth check then.
You are inspired to the exact same level of competence.
I can do better. No, I can't. All right.
I feel mocked. I don't even feel good about that victory.
Fell into a barrel.
Yeah, Helena, you scramble partially up the wall. Yeah, you fall somehow, silently, among the barrel and that sort of stone chest.
Well, so I guess I ended up where I thought I would go initially, which is annoyingly close to X.
True.
So I guess I'd like to maybe just kind of shoot from around that corner if I could.
Okay. Yeah, you have to kind of move up, a little bit, but yeah. And you'll take 4 points of bludgeoning damage for that. So as you move up and get in position, before you shoot, I'm going to check in with Millie. What does Millie do to ready yourself for this fight?
Millie will move in behind that little box crate thingy.
Okay.
But I do not have token control.
How strange. I guess just drag her back onto the map and see if that works.
Yeah, if you just want to delete that one.
Yeah. Because she doesn't have hit points or anything. Still no.
All right.
All right.
I can control that one at least, but
now is it Millie or Millie 2024?
Millie 2024 or 2024 Millie. How many of these do I have? This one should be the 2014. I don't know. Yep.
All right. There you go. Should have control now.
Wonderful. I believe we took a rest. Well, I got kind of destroyed. No, that doesn't make sense. Character sheet says 40 of 42, but I'm at 14 of something. Yeah, it's not working. Definitely have more than 25 HP. Yeah, that worked.
Or maybe just do it that way. Nope, same thing. Okay. All right, so you dart around the corner. Clifford also kind of starts creeping around this edge, ready to take a shot. And X, if you are, yeah, you can take the first shot, as you know, you were already in position. So far,
Okay.
the goblins are none the wiser.
We starting off the show then?
Or do we want to start with Locat jumping onto them?
Ha! Fair.
Wait for the
No,
symbol
you guys-
being the falling star.
Indeed. It's like the
You guys draw
meteorites
their-
into them.
You guys draw their attention, and then I'll jump in the middle.
Okay, I'll message him, and if that's his message back, I'll just launch the attack now.
Okay. That seems to be his reply.
I will get a 16 to hit one of them.
Pick one. There's the boss and then the
Closest.
others. Okay, that's a hit.
The closest one. There should be sneak damage there too. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Oh, an extra one. 11.
But that is the exact number you needed to feel free to describe or pass.
All right, so X gets his tattoo roiling, and Manticore comes out. The crossbow bolt flies. And I'm looking up to see if there's a flying Locag coming next.
As I hear an arrow pop, I do a little like psych myself up and drop into a rage of the rat.
Nice.
And any enemies within 5 feet of me, my allies have an advantage on attacks towards them.
Nice.
And I run off the roof, and leap, landing among the goblins. And I take a swing at this one on the way down. Now, that was a lot of movement and flavor, so if I need to do something, you just let me know.
Okay. I was going to say a couple of things. Athletics check, because if you're leaping off, maintaining your footing. Athletics check, you're going to take a little bludgeoning damage. And as far as like sort of, readied actions, you could leap into place and then we'll roll initiative.
Okay. A 20 on the athletics check.
Okay, you maintain your footing. For your raging, take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Excellent.
Yeah, because you could have been psyching yourself up and raging as you were climbing up there. But as far as readied actions, it's just a single thing, movement, attack, something like that. We'll go for it for this round. That's fine.
Okay, yeah.
All
right.
Yeah. Okay, so Locag leaps down, sort of lands in a crouch. Helena also has an attack, a readied action.
Yeah. Look at that. So I'm gonna go for the goblin that's right next to the one that fell.
Okay.
And just gonna shoot it. I got those new bolts. Or it's a poison. I'll save that actually.
Okay. Okay, you're gonna save those. Cool.
They were bolts.
Yeah, it was poison. You could have put on some bolts and slipped them into your quiver. Easily could have done that when you were prepping to leave.
I want to save that for like a clearly more like intense fight.
Good thinking.
Let's see. Just this sheet just takes me a little bit longer to navigate.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just do my regular crossbow of light, and then. So that's prepared action. Do I get a bonus action?
Not until initiative. Yeah. So you just
Okay.
get the one attack
Alright.
this time.
Okay. My septic strikes might be on. I don't know how to toggle it off yet.
That's fine.
Here.
We'll just subtract it. A 24 is definitely going to hit.
Okay, good. It's not on. Looks like 9.
All right. You can feel free to describe or pass.
Oh wow. Helena kind of after she's shocked actually that did it. She looks down at her bicep and kisses it quietly and looks back at X like, yeah, all that falling off the roof, all that, I planned that. That's so that could happen.
X is very appreciative.
And Millie's ready to action.
All right, firing the light crossbow. .22.
22
hit.
is going to hit. And which is your target?
We'll go for. I think. I'm a little out of range for the far one, so we'll go for. I guess the near one. That's
Okay.
still alive. 6 piercing.
All right. Arrow lodges deep into its shoulder. The goblin staggers forward but doesn't fall. You could tell, though, you almost pierced its heart. It's got to be close to death. All right, and then for Clifford. Millie, if you want to roll a d20 for Clifford's crossbow.
Only a 3.
Clifford's shot goes wild. Let me go ahead and clear out this initiative. And you all can go ahead and highlight your tokens and roll initiative. All right, and the top of the order then is Lokag. Oh, sorry, I thought they were all rolled. Let's see here. Okay, Millie, excellent. We got everybody. So yeah, top of the order is Lokag.
All right. This guy right here, the one just to the east of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a big old reckless attack at him, and yeah, with my maul.
Nice.
So, 11 or wow, only a 14 to hit.
14 is gonna miss.
Yep. Alrighty, and that is I believe that's everything I got. Yeah, that's it.
I can't remember the last time Lokag missed a swing. It happens. Next in the order is X.
All right, I will re-establish my hiding. Well, actually, I have advantage because of Lokag, yes?
This is correct.
So,
Yeah.
we can hide afterwards. So let's target the big boss, because, yeah, try to get some damage on the big guy. Well, we have advantage.
Mm-hmm. That is the move.
Pew pew. Laser beams.
Magic crossbow bolts.
I don't have those, but
Okay. 20 is going to hit.
Okay, damage. It refuses to include my sneak damage.
Okay.
Jerk. Okay. At least I had the sneak damage here then. 14 total damage.
All right. The whimpering, gloating sound ceases from the goblin. It sort of turns wide-eyed, anger and fear mixed on its face. What else for X?
I will rehide then afterwards with my cunning action.
Okay. All right. Clifford's going to fire again. Millie, if you want to roll another d20 for Clifford. He reloads his crossbow, steps out to fire again, with advantage. Oh no.
All right, let me try that again.
Yeah.
See if this works. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, then fine. We'll just do another one. My bard went away. 13 plus his stuff.
That is gonna hit. So don't want to use any of his spells. So yeah, he's just gonna do. He got the heavy crossbow, D10 plus 4.
5.
Finishes off the wounded one. The goblin, he just fires that heavy thump of the heavy crossbow. The arrow, the bolt whistling across the air, and the goblin just sort of folds around it and crumples to the ground. Next in the order is Helena.
Well, can I shoot anyone from here now? Like the boss Lokag's kind of.
Yes, you can. They're all within
Okay.
your range.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, why give up cover? So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the goblin boss, and then do a septic strike bonus action
Okay.
if it works.
Right. If it hits. Yeah. 20 is gonna hit.
Yay! Ooh, big numbers. Big numbers. And let's get that. Let me get the septic strikes. 1d4. Oh, that helps. That helps.
Yeah, you can feel free to
Nice.
describe or pass as you dispatch the boss.
What? Okay. Helena, I think is recollecting some of her pride that was lost from falling off the roof. And hones in her senses and for once doesn't seem like a bit of a lunatic and focuses and sharp shoots him just like cleanly right through the head. It goes in one ear and out the other. It's kind of beautiful if you think about it.
Depending on, how you think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Any movement or anything for Helena?
Nah, this is a nice spot.
Nice. Next in the order is Millie. The one goblin is starting to turn to run, opening its mouth, perhaps to scream. What does Millie do?
All right. It's turning to run, eh?
Mm-hmm. Looks like it's going to run north toward the burned out buildings with the other goblins. You probably don't want it to get there.
That's okay, because I've got absolutely no spells or magic to stop things from running away from me.
Just the crossbow, right?
Just a crossbow. Or Yeah, just a crossbow. That's one too many feet. There we go. I will move forward and believe you can only throw alchemist fire like 20 feet. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Possibly less. Okay.
Yeah, 20
Then
feet.
yes, crossbow it is, because there's no way that's within 20 feet. Waiting on it to reload.
Oh, yeah.
19 to hit.
19's going to hit.
5 piercing, and it is slowed.
Ooh, nice.
Oh
So I
yeah.
have weapon mastery and crossbow. Light crossbows.
Nice. All right. On its turn, it cannot move.
Speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Okay, so
Yep.
it screams and dashes away. What does Lokak do?
That guy's pretty far away. Okay. I am going to... Oh, I think I could actually get to him. I'm gonna... Oh, wait, no. The boss is dead right there, so he's the only one left. So, actually, yeah, with Longstrider, I can reach him. Aw. Thanks, X. But, you know,
Nice.
we're gonna reckless attack with the hammer.
Fitting.
Where you going, buddy? And he's gonna turn the corner and just smack the hammer down.
Let's see the roll.
Hitting up 14 to hit again.
A 14 is going to hit. This one's does not have a shield.
Excellent. That'll do 15 damage.
Wow. Out of the 2 hit points he had remaining, feel free to describe or pass.
He looks down. The death itself was a blur, but he looks down, and it's almost difficult to recognize it as a goblin at this point. And he looks at his hammer, just covered in, just, you know, bile and excrement, and he's just like, "Oh, that's gross." As he's like, he takes some of the ruined cloth and starts cleaning the head of the hammer.
You all hear the sound of Lokak finishing off the goblin. Waltzes back around the corner, polishing the head of his hammer off. There was a shout, one shout. It was still within this ring of buildings, and it wasn't incredibly loud. You don't hear any stirring from the buildings to the north. But I think we should take a short break here and come back in 10 and find out. How's that sound, everybody?
Sounds good. To
Sounds
me.
good.
All right.
Good.
Heck
I'll
yeah.
be right back.
All right. All right, Mythlanders, we're going to, some of us are going to step away. Some of us will be in chat still. But we're going to take a break from the action for about 10 minutes. And yeah, we'll be talking to y'all in chat. See y'all in a few.
Among the alleys, cold and bleak, I learned to stand up for the meek. Never one to start a fight, now called to breach its light. When that storm dropped break my chains and make a stand. I'm champion of Bridget's might. I carry her flame, shining bright. Justice by day, peace by night. I vow to make this right. Once an urchin, now I glow with the strength that will not fade. I don't know why she chose me, but I'm glad to be her blade. I won't forget my former life, filled with hunger, pain, and strife. For those abandoned and alone, I'll be your hearth and home. I'm champion of Bridget's might. I carry her flame, shining bright. Justice by day, peace by night. I vow to make this right.
You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. My leg is stiff again today. This coffee's a bit cold for my liking. People what live in comfortable homes with pretty gardens, they just never get to see much of the world. Me, I go everywhere, get hired to run down scum for money, but also 'cause I don't like 'em much. You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. I don't usually have a posse. Group I'm with now, though, ain't so bad. There's even times when they don't shoot first. Well, better than most, I suppose. You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. I never signed up for this big rock full of goblins falling from the sky. Well, if someone has to step up and protect these folks, might as well be me. They probably can't afford to pay me what I'm worth, but hey, life's an adventure. I really need to remake this coffee. You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. See you folks back in the square.
I mastered the ring, no big thing. My weapon I swing. but you don't have to call me that. It was the name the fans had for me, you know? I am low-cag. I'm about to throw some hands. You'll find low-cag with all of his adoring fans. You can call me low-cag or just buy me another beer. I don't tell any lies. I'm massive in size. I feel really wise when my hammer flies. The naughty goblin dies. I'm removing their spies. The pretty lady cries, but I can't compromise because I'm really cool and I like the noises that happen when I smash things, you know? I can dance a jig. I can laugh real big. I can snap you like twig. Put you in the brig. I don't wear a wig. I eat like a pig. I'll pass on the fig. I'm really not a fan of those date type fruits, you know? I am low-cag. I'm about to throw some hands. You'll find low-cag with all of his adoring fans. You can call me low-cag or just buy me another beer. When I rage, swing my glaive like I'm at a rave, making heads cave with a hammer wave. The people I save say high praise. Take another page. Have your mother, your brother, your sister, another. Write down what you want on your grave. Sorry about the yelling. I kinda get carried away with the emotions, you know? Dance to the beat of a goblin retreat. Sound of defeat. Low-cag ain't meat. Now it's time for a beer. Raise up a cheer. We're all back here. There's nothing to fear. If there is something you fear, just let me know. I will run straight at it for fun, you know? I am low-cag. I'm about to throw some hands. You'll find low-cag with all of his adoring fans. You can call me low-cag or just buy me another beer. You can call me low-cag or just buy me another beer. He's got the mind to build a land. Every creature, spell, and grain of sand to Arabelle where life was grand. He brought the stone, now take a stand. Maps and dice, he lays it down. Are we enough to save the crown? A twist of fate, a roll of chance. In Feanor's domain do stories dance. Come join this world where magic flies through caverns dark and open skies. His crafted dreams for us to roam, an epic quest to save our home. Speaks with voices old and wise. Goblins.
All right, welcome back, Mythlanders.
Hi. I haven't gotten to do that in a minute.
It is true. So after finishing off the small cluster of goblins, taking the one runner out before it got too far, you don't immediately detect any stirring, at least nothing moving your way. No calls of alarm repeated. X, what does X suggest? You all kind of stand in the shadow of these old dwarven warehouses.
Hang here for a second just to see if we've been noticed, and continue sneaking by. I think that's what X would want to do.
All right. Clifford says, well, we don't see him now, but somebody might come to investigate. I say we get out of here. What does Helena think? What does she suggest?
Well, kind of confused where we're at on the map.
All right, let me transition us back over and so you all are just on the outer ring. Let me right in this area here where I put that teal circle.
I think I have to refresh because I'm just not. I am not there.
Okay.
Um,
So you're about a little
It's
almost
got us
half.
on the. It's got us on the stone. You might just need to scroll up.
Yeah, let's see here.
just seeing stuff helps me organize like
Mhm.
what I'm doing. Okay, I see. Awesome. Okay, so the next question is how we're advancing, basically.
Well, you all, a goblin just tried to flee. It screamed once before Lokag killed it. X was suggesting sort of pausing here and waiting for a moment and see if that alerted any of the goblins. Cliff thinks we should move on before any of the alerted goblins come searching for us.
Helena's with Cliff on this one. She doesn't want to, wait around. Like, hey, fortune favors the quick on their feet, according to rat life. So she's gonna get out of here, press onward.
All right, what about Lokag? Hang back and wait and make sure you're not going to get spotted, or head off before anything comes looking?
I think speed may be our friend here. I am not so sneaky. Maybe best to exit. There were some goblins in that burned out the building to the north, so perhaps we avoid that and move in opposite direction.
All right, what does Millie think?
I think that is a fine idea.
Okay. All right, so
Perhaps the most perceptive should go first so we don't run into a trap.
okay. So
It's
then,
Clifford and X.
all right. So X, everybody else who gives you feedback seems like you're outnumbered, but that may not stop X. X may be certain of his thoughts. So what does X do or say?
Well, if everybody wants to go, then we'll go. Stealth up and boogie.
Okay, let's get another stealth and either perception or investigation from you, whichever you prefer. And Clifford will do the other.
Any of the rest of us?
Well, at the moment, until you all get near something, we'll just be operating by Clifford and or X's stealth. They'll just sort of slip forward and gesture you all to move from hiding spot to hiding spot as you all travel.
17 stealth, 20 perception.
Okay. All right. Helena, do you want to roll a d20 for Clifford's investigation check?
Sure. 12.
Okay. So the next block and a half is seems pretty empty. And indeed, as you travel through it, it's quiet. There's
Foxy Pon Pon says, "Hi DM Feener."
Hi, Pon Pon. There's buildings that are half burned, some burned to the ground. Others, panels of fine stone and doors of fine wood have been ripped or torn off of them. There's clothing and all sorts of items strewn out into the streets, where goblins have just sort of pulled stuff, handfuls out, and ran and either fought over it or dropped stuff they didn't want or care about. You see streaks and spattering of blood here and there, especially in some of the doorways of houses that are partially burned but not completely. But what you don't see are any bodies, no goblin or townsfolk, as if all of the dead are collected. Could mean a lot of things, and none of them are particularly good. There is one building that's about 4 stories. It's mostly burned, but enough of the structure is intact that it's possible to climb up on top of it and get a view if you want. So the only thing that you can really hear, the most of what you can hear, is the fighting continuing down at the docks. Maybe, sort of the last push for the goblinoids for the day, before they retreat and regroup or whatever they do, get reinforced, rotate out. Not sure what the scene is down there, but it's possible that climbing up onto this, the remains of this tower, for someone climbing up there, could get a better view of the area. A lot of the other buildings are, roughly around the same height, so you're not able to see the streets and squares and stuff when you're up on the lower buildings. Does that sound of interest to X? Or do Sigda Clifford do it, or another one of your allies?
Yeah, let's have Clifford do it.
Okay. Well, that is going to be, let's see here. If you want to go ahead and roll a d20 for him. Actually, let's have Lokag roll for Clifford. I think he hasn't yet.
Wait. Oh, yeah, 4.
All right. So there's a lot of handholds. And let's see here. Okay, so all right. Actually manages to clamber up. There's sections of ruined floor. There's the windowsills and sort of the butt ends of burned supports that he can grab onto and climb. So with his 10, he manages to clamber up, staying mostly on the western side of the structure. It's sort of like it was a, part of a large house, a 3-story house, and you're just, it's like the corner of the bottom, middle, and top floor. So he sort of clambers up this and looks about for a few minutes while X, you kind of usher everybody up into a safe spot. At some point, when you're moving everybody closer to this burned out tower, you do hear a troop of goblins. It sounds like, you can hear the rustle of chainmail and the clatter of spears and shields. You don't spot them, but it sounds like hobgoblins, and it sounds like a group moving toward the docks. So it does seem as if they're getting reinforced. Soon Clifford comes down. He has a grim look on his face. It doesn't really look good for him down there. Looks like there's a couple of clusters of enemies. They're kind of chaotic and they move around quite a bit. A few buildings, the outer warehouses around the docks have been burned out. So pretty clear ground, not much to hide behind if we're trying to approach. But if we move south and come up the river from there, well, we should be able to get to the dock area, because looks like a couple of ships one ship. A bunch of defenders are on. Looks like some sailors and some guard, some town folk. It's hard to tell again, pretty far, but so the goblins and such are on the docks, kind of pushing their way in. It looks like townsfolk have been pushed back to I think there's another big boat too. Small island too, right on the Queen's Island, they call it, I think. Looks like a bunch of refugees on Queen's Island too, holed up in a little dilapidated old fisherman's shack. So, I didn't see any sign of our little friends either. Assuming they're still around somewhere. So, everybody ready to keep moving?
I think we need to.
Let's go.
All right. Let's go, X. He kind of nods to you as you all slip ahead of everybody. Now, as you begin to move closer, you come again to the outer wall. The gates have been shattered by something. The wood splintered, the iron and steel sort of banding sort of curled and bent outward. There's actually a couple of the large iron rivets on the ground. There's a greasy yellow-black soot from some sort of alchemical fire as well. But you don't spot anything around. You're able to move through the large arched gate in the great inner city wall. And from here, the hill, like the city sort of, the hill drops down pretty precipitously, and all the houses are sort of built on slope. So you all can get a pretty good view of what's going on. There's one alley you're able to bring everyone into. And so let me bring us over to a map. Of the region. This map is not one that's made by me. It is one that is made by Seafoot Games, which I use pretty often. I will link them in chat. They're fantastic. They sell big bundles. Anybody out there who's trying to run their own games might be interested in this. So go ahead and drop that in chat. Oh, it's a little bit ugly. Let me fix something in the back end. And for the moment, it looks like in the front of this building here, let me make sure on stream what we're seeing. Oh, I'm going to have to refresh. Pardon me. Slip back over here real quick while I refresh this page. It's acting up a little bit. So from what you can tell, you can't see them, but it looks like enemy troops are in front of these two large buildings. You can see where I'm pinging. You can see, you can see polished, sharpened heads of crossbow bolts sort of glistening in the air. And you see fire return from those on the ship. But everything to, like I said, everything to the west of what's on the map has sort of been cleared and burned out, and it's a steep slope moving down toward it as well. As you watch, another hobgoblin contingent comes in from the north. Let me show it on the map real quick. And they're sort of in the top right, so the very northwest of the map. They are moving to reinforce, is what it looks like anyhow. So as you all are sort of cramped into this alley, the buildings sort of leaning together above you. The smell of char is thick in the air, and there's still a haze of smoke. Some of those buildings on the slope, the wooden foundations are still smoldering and burning. Well, Clifford says, I guess we got a few ways to approach. I know Lokag, you might like to just charge straight down the hill at him. But I think we might maybe come in after that hobgoblin group that's slipping in. It looks like they're moving slow, trying to sneak. Or take that the more stealthy path, going down south and coming back north up the river. What do you all think? Says Clifford as he looks around.
Come on, we can take them.
Ambush the hobgoblins.
The hobgoblins? Helena, what do you think? Sneak in from the south or take out those hobgoblins?
I like to shoot things. Sneaking is good. So, but
Valentine
I think
Everlight says,
I'm gonna go with
murder
shooting.
DA hobgoblins.
Today I'm going with shooting.
So hobgoblins then.
Uh-huh.
All right. X,
Agreed.
Millie, hobgoblins. Everybody for hobgoblins then. All right. Well, we've got a little bit of, you can kind of look down the slope and you can see you've got a decent amount of cover. There's, broken wagons, the burned out walls remaining of buildings that you can sort of hide behind as you move down slope. But then there's about a 50, 60-foot gap of just open ground that you will have to cover, and there's a chance you'll be spotted. Any preparations you all make? Any other precautions you take?
I will cast Long Strider on the Lokag.
All right. Clifford begins looking around, peering at the group that you all can see. All right. Does Helena make any other preparations or any suggestions for the battle? Other than wanting, of course, to move in and shoot some stuff.
Definitely this time I want to use that poison.
Okay. So you've got the weaker one. That's just a D4 and can poison them. And then you got the more potent one that does 2d8 and has a very small chance of paralyzing.
Well, how many do we think there are? How strong do you think they are, team? You think I should go with the weaker or stronger poison?
From what you can hear, there are probably 5 times the amount of hobgoblins that you can see up in that top corner.
Okay.
Stronger.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too when I heard that number.
And Clifford is peering around, really listening, really intently. If anyone wants to roll... Oh no, he's already got that too. And so is X.
What was the strong poison?
It is 2d8 poison damage.
It has a chance of...
Yeah. And they get a save versus if they make their save, they take half damage. If they fail their save, they take 2d8 and they're paralyzed.
Okay, awesome.
I'll cast Shield of Faith on myself.
All right. Now, X, you spot just south of those. I'm going to ping an area just south of that group of hobgoblins you can see. Let's see if this is showing up on stream. Yep, okay. There are a group of... There's something hiding there. There's a small... Well, so yeah, the cliff drops down pretty sharply. And there's something hiding between that small cliff and that building. And it seems that one of the hobgoblins is communicating with them. Given the... they're still and pretty well camouflaged given the environment and how new they are to it. But you're certain that it's bugbears. And you see 5 bugbears, which means there's probably more than that, clustered right in that same area with the hobgoblins. Clifford says, well, looks like the pistol's going to have to come out at some point.
Maybe we take them at the point where the buildings close around them.
Looks like they're starting to do another final push toward the docks, and they're most of them armed with crossbows. At least the hobgoblins, the ones we can see. Probably trying to finish off the ones on that ship or get over to it. Alright, yeah, so we're checking to see what kind of area effects we have. Now, Helena, it's not exactly an area effect, but you can summon those little clusters of ratlings to fight with you.
Oh yeah, how many clusters?
Well, go ahead and check on your sheet. You have to read over that real quick, because it's a homebrew, so it's not fully lodged in my brain. I think you can summon at least one of them. I think it'll be 5th level before you get another one.
Okay.
And the way your Septic Strikes works is the more things you damage, everything that you've damaged, or your rat assistants have damaged, all take that D4 when you trigger Septic Strikes. It's not AE, but it's something to think about.
That's so cool.
Just, sort of spreading your damages around. Not trying to kill anything, just trying to wound everything you can, so that way every time you do a Septic Strike...
My sheet's very slow. I
okay.
can't...
That's okay. Cliff has Entangle, that's right. Cliff could definitely
Before we go...
I can summon... number of swarms of vermin equal to the level of spell slots.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, yeah. Nice. Jay, Fink, you were starting to say something?
Yeah.
Before
we get into combat. All right. It's no longer there in my sheet. That's always amazing. I will hand Locag and I'll hand Locag a bolstering treat. All right, I'm gonna throw this in chat.
Okay.
Bolstering treat. A creature can use a bonus action to eat one of those treats to gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yep.
I will take.
So I'll give you two temp HP right now.
Alright.
Better than 0 temp HP.
It is.
2 better.
And it's equal to 4 on a Raging Barbarian.
That's true. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So yeah,
And
Clifford.
I'm going to eat my other one right now. Boom.
Okay. Nice. So yeah, he can try to drop that entangle. Right. Try to get some of the bugbears that X spotted. If that sounds good to everybody.
Yeah.
I think he could just if we fight like from the northern position, and he does entangle on all of these, bugbears would still have to come around through it, right?
Or scramble up the cliff, yeah. They could go around to the south because that slope's a little more gentle past that southern building, but it would be a round or 2 before they could make it all the way around if they didn't climb. So yeah, that could also work. Okay. All right. So are you all going to try to sneak down the hill, or are you all just going to run down the hill into combat? It's obvious.
X is all about trying the sneaky stuff. I mean, I don't want to be revealed anytime before I need to be.
So you all could attempt stealth. If anything happens to turn and look your way, you'll be out in the open once you're in that sort of 60-foot open expanse, and and it's out in view too. So everything, because it kind of comes downhill toward the docks. But currently, all the enemy's attention is on the ship and the docks.
Maybe we start with entangle, try to get, that whole 20-foot expanse. That is really hard to place.
Yeah. Okay. And he could do it pretty quickly too. As soon as you all are, you don't even have to be closed to them. He's got 90 feet of range, so he can be a little upslope and hit them with it, and you all can unleash what you can. Clifford would say though, well, I'm a little concerned. What about Lokag? We don't want him in the entanglement. What's he gonna do? Lock down that whole group of hobgoblins. He won't be able to get in there. Unless you want to deal with...
He kills the ones that get out.
Lokag? Does that sound...
Containment duty.
All right, then. Any last thoughts? Any last
Just throw them
prayers?
back into the vines, Lokag.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Something like that. Let's see here. Bring it onto the layer.
I mean, this is a 20-foot cube, right?
Yeah, I just was not.
Which that would be. I don't know why the ruler is. No. Oh, it's the ruler's doing a 20-foot radius cube. That's silly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that works. I think that's a good spot.
Okay. Well, you all can go ahead and bring your tokens out on the top right of the map. Sorry about that, stream.
So if we're not doing the sneaky thing, then I'll also cast Bless when he casts the Entangle.
Okay. So, and, what range do you all want him to cast it?
I'd say probably like 60, 50, 60, so we can actually get there in time to do anything.
Okay.
Unless you all think 90 is good.
60 has it.
Okay. So then he might hang back if you all want to keep sneaking ahead. If you all do want to make those stealth checks, you can go ahead and make them, and he can just sort of hang back. Because as you all begin to creep down the hill, the enemy is very focused on what's east of them, and nobody turns to look up the hill towards you.
I did. Just to note, I have a swarm prepared. Yeah.
Okay, heck yeah. Let's see if pull one out.
I can just do one right now.
Right, because your spell slots. Okay. So we are working it as a swarm of rats right now. Let me... Okay, you should be able to control that now.
Yeah.
Excellent.
They only have 12 HP.
That's what the token has at the moment. All right, X, if you want to bring X out onto the table, let me bring Clifford out. Okay.
I'm behind the keg.
Okay, nice. No, they should have more than that. So 24 hit points. So you all begin to creep closer. Clifford is probably a little bit off the map. He's a little bit further back behind you all. As he, readies his spell. So you all wait for him to drop it before you all attack? Or does somebody else make the first move?
I just want to cast Bless when he's casting, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we wait for him to throw down the Entangle before.
Okay. So, yeah, he stays back then about 60 feet and begins to cast. Vines and roots begin to break forth from the ground, wrapping around and attempting to grab onto your enemy's ankles and thighs. Who all gets the bless from X?
X, Helena, Millie.
All right. So as soon as he casts and you cast, that would be his ready action and yours. What does Lokag do as the enemy began to struggle with these vines?
I am going to
Rage.
Nice. What about Helena?
Well, I thought my Swarm of Rats was that.
Oh, if you... Okay. You could have summoned that while you were traveling, I think.
Yeah, okay. Wonder about Hunter's Mark.
Not a bad idea. There are
Yeah.
3 that look, their armor's beaten, dented, but also painted brightly. 3 veterans among them.
Yeah, let's go for one of the big tough guys. The one that looks the most smug.
Hunter's Mark is going to be less effective than just using your septic strikes.
Oh, does I can't stack those.
Yeah.
You can, but Hunter's Mark is a spell slot, and to move it is a bonus action, and your septic strikes is a bonus action. So.
Okay. Thank you, because that is, I do not want to do that. I definitely want to do septic strikes. I was trying to be creative. Yeah, well, then I guess I'll hold off to save the spell slots.
Okay. Alright, roll 20 just kind of glitched out of me a little bit. Yeah, this jump gate is very buggy.
Yeah, I've been having lots of issues with it.
Alright, need some strength saves from these fellas here. I'm putting a net icon on the ones that are trapped, or that are restrained. And none of the veterans are currently restrained.
Right.
Okay. I was checking a couple of other things. So, what did Ponpon or Yana? Goodness, it's a different character. Helena land on for her, like a beginning of combat, her ready to action.
Well, I wondered if maybe I could be sneaking in any way.
Mm-hmm. You could, but again, there's nothing really to hide behind, so they'll see you once they turn around. So if any of them act before you do, then you'll be spotted.
There's not even any like tall grass or mud I could roll in, or.
It was a slope that had houses on it, and all the houses have been burnt down. There's maybe some folds of rock or like the stone foundation of one of the buildings you could get up on top of and sort of hunker down out of line of sight.
Okay.
That would put you outside of 70 or outside of 60 feet away, around 70 feet away.
So that's too far for my crossbow.
No, I don't think so.
Well, then it doesn't matter really, because my swarm will take care of the rest.
Yeah, I think it's 80 feet for a light crossbow. I'm double checking.
Yep, 80 feet, close range.
So yeah, you'd be fine if you wanted to hang back.
Heck yeah. I got the swarm. They can take care of the rest, man.
Okay, awesome.
I'll just sharpshoot him from a distance.
You and Clifford again, hanging back. All right, let's see here. Lokag rages. Millie, did I check in with you on what you're doing? Top of, as you surprise your enemy.
Yeah, the initial thing was to shield the faith.
Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, I've had to refresh Roll20 like 5 times this session already. All right, well, everyone highlight their tokens and roll initiative.
Do I need to do that for the swarm also?
Yeah. Please and thank you.
Sorry, that should only be a 4 for Lokag on initiative. I'll change that.
Okay.
I can't find X. Where'd you put him? I saw you put a pink dot on him.
Yeah.
The under one of the
The
tokens.
Mysteries of Jumpgate.
There he is.
He's back. I just put him back on.
Okay, thank you.
If there's 2 or 3 X's, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Alright, the hobgoblins turn. Some of them turn in you all's direction. Others, trying to draw their feet up. Surprised, grumbling and shouts issue from the hobgoblins. These look, let's see here. Again, that sort of almost bright orange complexion. Bloodshot eyes beneath, underneath beaten iron helms. Top of the order is X.
All right, are some of them restrained?
Yeah, you can see on the top right of some of the tokens that there are little webs or nets. Those are the ones that are restrained.
Okay, I get advantage on those. So, yep, crossbow. Got to turn on the bless here. All right. Incoming. Maybe.
I believe in you.
I rolled.
It's happening.
Hey, there it goes. There it goes there. 26 to hit.
26 is going to hit.
So 6 plus 2, 8.
Alright, total of 8 damage.
And then X is playing the midfield. He won't stay as far back as Elena, but I'll be, somewhere in between with Clifford and Millie ahead of me.
Okay. Alright. Next in the order then is Millie.
Alright. I will draw my blade. And so it looked like those 3 heavily armored folk are not
Seem to be not affected, yeah.
restrained. Okay. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Move into here and try to take this one down first. All right. Let's from over here. 22 to hit.
22 is going to hit.
Max damage. 11 damage.
Feel free to describe or pass.
DM,
I think
for
it's... Go ahead.
For the sake of the viewers, can you zoom in on the combat, please?
Oh, absolutely. Give me just a moment.
It's a nice boat. Just kind of a quick flourish and stab into this hobgoblin. A kind of a searing light as she withdraws it. And then looking at the other hobgoblin next to it. It doesn't matter if it's sapped because it is dead. Alright, that is my attack. Bonus actions, holding Shield of Faith. I don't believe I have any other bonus actions. I did that already. It's silly to do. Alright, that's all I got.
Nice. Next in the order is Helena. Further up the hill, lying prone with Clifford.
Well, I'm gonna aim straight for that first veteran. Yeah, that guy right there. With my poison
Nice.
arrows. And so when I do that, do I just hit my crossbow of light, or?
Yeah, that's fine, because you're using the crossbow of light to fire it.
Okay.
And just do damage the same way, but we'll just remember that it actually is piercing damage this time, because you used a bolt. And it's going to do the poison damage as well. Let's see here.
16?
Unfortunately, let's see here.
You has the bless.
You do have the bless.
Oh, nice.
And they don't know you're there, so advantage as well.
You want me to hit crossbow light again?
Mm-hmm.
18?
All right, you can go ahead and roll that d4, but that 18 is their AC. At least the ones with
Okay.
shields. The ones in the back, toward you all, have shields. The ones in the front rank do not. Front ranks don't. All right, and then it's gonna go ahead and roll that 2d8, and I'm gonna make a roll a save for it. See how that does.
11?
It is gonna save, so it's gonna take 5. It's not gonna be paralyzed.
Okay, and then my bonus action, I want to do septic strikes.
Okay, nice.
So that's another D4.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I got a question about the septic strikes.
Okay.
Do I want to attack a bunch of different people before I trigger that?
You can do it for free every round. But yeah, the more you spread your attacks out, the more people you'll damage every round with septic strikes.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
If the rats are acting on your initiative, if they could go also and do damage, then you should also get septic on what they hurt.
Sweet. So I rolled that other D4. Hell yeah, 4.
Nice.
And I'm looking for the... I know there's a toggle for septic strike somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. Not on here anyway. Not yet.
All right, we can add one. All right.
I think it's there, but
The veteran looks, with that attack and septic strikes, that poison, that you could tell they felt it. You hear a grunt from them. They sort of lurch to the side and bring their shield up more fully in front of their face. The veteran shouts in Goblin. Clifford, next to Helena, whispers what it's saying. But the rest of you get the gist of it as they start to move. Looks like they're going to fall back. Or reposition themselves. They think there's a lot more of us up here than there are.
that's fine, I think.
Yeah, one of the veterans. It covers the other two. They fire longbows in y'all's direction, likely at Millie, who is closest. So 2 shots from a longbow at Millie before they slip away. A 16 and a 13.
A miss and a miss.
Nice. Hobgoblins, the ones toward the front, do the same. They turn and fire. Well, they know how to use their abilities, so you're the one within 5 feet of one of their allies, so they're all going to fire at Millie. Five attacks at Millie. Wow, a 13, a 13, a 14, a 6, and an 11. All misses.
Yes, they are aiming for a 19.
Nice. So they each fire and scoot away.
Were they firing at Millie or Neo?
There's questions now. They're not sure. One of those veterans gives a shout. It seems like it's pitched further south. Then
Are they moving with the understanding that even entangled, even if they saved, is still difficult terrain?
Oh, they're absolutely not. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. I like to think of it as there's just the aura of like bright, almost flame that is surrounding Millie right now. All these bolts just scattered off of that.
All right. The remaining enemies, the hobgoblins, also fire, but they're going to be rolling at disadvantage. Actually, sorry. They likely would have fired before their ally left left the 5-foot range of you. Let me make sure these are visible. 5 crossbow attacks at Millie with disadvantage. And good thing, too. Because they're all going to miss, and the 2 of them are not crits. And you get to roll a d6 for the mishap table on one of the hobgoblins.
a 2d6 or just a d6?
Just a d6.
3.
All right. Let's see here. Perhaps the martial discipline of the hobgoblins is not as good as should be expected. Its crossbow bolt seems to misfire. It snaps, catches on part of the slide, and snaps. Splinters of wood explode outward into his shoulder and face. What does Lokag do? Sorry, this veteran also would move back.
Well, dang it. They are all quite far away. And in entangling vines. So, let's see. I think I can get up to here. Or maybe right here. I don't know where the cliff edge is.
Okay.
And then, is that standing next to this hobgoblin, or is it down below me?
This one is right next to you.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry, yeah, the one... yeah, that one's right next to you.
I'm going to, let's see, that was 30 feet of movement. Okay. And then, gosh, why not? I'm Lokag. I'm gonna do crazy things. I'm going to...
You immediately see that there are bugbears down below.
Okay, cool. Jeez. Alright. Well, maybe I don't want to be too crazy. I guess I'm just gonna reckless attack and smash that one with a hammer.
Okay.
Uh, 18 to hit.
18 that's gonna hit. That's their AC.
Excellent. I will take that 14 damage.
Nice. Hobgoblin staggers back, struggling to reach back and pull its shield up. But it doesn't fall.
Awesome. And then that's it for my turn.
All right. Next, the Verminkin, a swarm of rats.
They can bite, or they can bite.
The choices. What's it gonna be?
I think it's gonna bite.
A fine
this is
choice.
when the swarm has more than half HP. So we're gonna attack one that I haven't attacked. Wait, is the veteran I attacked? Is he still around?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's get. I guess the closest one to them would be these guys here. I'm gonna bite them.
All right. We would be, I believe, susceptible to that entangle.
Well, fortunately, there are lots of hobgoblins nearby.
That's true. All right, so let's see here. It's just difficult terrain, so it's fine.
I feel like they could get in and out of it easier, you know.
Fair enough.
Or they just get choked out real quick. I'm not sure.
Well, it's not going to restrain them. It's just going to be difficult terrain for them. So you can go ahead and make that attack with the Verminkin.
Bites.
All right, with a 14, unfortunately, that is going to miss against the heavily armored hobgoblins.
Boo.
Yeah, fortunately.
You tried, my lovelies. You tried.
So brave. Swarm of mangy rats. Tight formation coming in. trying to overwhelm, but failing, trying to climb up and bite into. But they can't bite through the chainmail. They have a bit of trouble with that.
They need to sharpen their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give instructions to Bubby later.
Nice.
Well, I guess that's all they can do, right?
Yeah. They can continue moving, reposition themselves if they want to.
Nah, they're just gonna keep trying to bite. That's what they got.
So, 6 bugbears sort of move into a position where they can throw their javelins up the cliff at Lokag. And they each do.
Let's do this.
A 20, a 21, and a 19.
20, 21, and 19, all 3 hit.
All right. Let's see here. I don't think that 13s or 14s are going to hit you, if I'm not mistaken.
No, AC is 16.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be different damage, so let me do this differently. The bugbears hit for 30 piercing.
Okay.
So 15 piercing.
Yep. Oh, sweet. It automatically calculated the temp. Perfect.
Nice. You hear them give, low, sort of rattling, guttural roar, sort of as they charge forward. And you catch around the corner of the building to the south. Got the wrong tool. You catch another bugbear. It has leather robes that are covered in patches of other color, of other fur, like bits of tokens from other kills. It looks like a priest or something. And as it sort of turns fully around the corner to lock eyes with Lokag, you can tell it's just run into place. But it looks at Lokag and it seems very focused on Lokag and begins to cast a spell. Its hands knot, and you can almost hear the popping of its joints as it twists its fingers through painful shapes. The air around you starts to turn a dull, almost dull brownish red, almost the color of dried blood. As some hobgoblins struggle in Clifford's trap. One already fallen to All's attacks. Three others hurt. The hobgoblins all moving away, but the bugbears to the south positioning themselves. You can also hear the shouting and the calling of another company almost directly west of you. A company of hobgoblins. You can hear the harsh guttural tones of the goblinoid speech and those reedy, almost shrill voices that the hobgoblins have. But repeated to the south also. You all can see some movement around the corner of this building. And you can hear the working and snapping of the heavy crossbows. Arrows sort of occasionally will fill the air as one side, the hobgoblins or the defenders on the ships, send forth a volley of arrows toward the positions of the others. On the ship, the people will fire with their bows or crossbows, likely far out of range, dropping behind their gunwales. They've held up for a while, and you can see sailors and some soldiers or some guards among them. But there's no battle experience or battle discipline. They're wasting their arrows. But you all are here, and we'll see how quickly you all can cut through these enemies. Perhaps make it to the allies on the ships, or reposition and take out another group. We'll have to find out what happens next session on Goblin Stone, as time slows to an imperceptible crawl for our heroes, frozen in flight, in movement. Lokag's hammer swept high. X slipping in, seemingly unarmed. Clifford and Helena hide on a burned out foundation about 70 feet up the hill. And Millie stands and delivers with her shining, flaming blade of Bridget's flame. So let's step back a moment. And check in and see how the session went for everybody. Had a pretty good sweep, you all, a little bit of role playing in the square, some decision making. Luckily, sneaking up on a group of unwary goblins and taking them out super quick before anything else really happened. Moving, past all, and seeing the wreckage of the town, such like that. And then seeing the beleaguered people, who've been stuck at the docks. Now you see they're stuck on these ships in this small little island in the middle of the river. A lot of potential allies. You're certain there's a lot of resources here. But there's a lot that stands between you and securing those, the lives of the townsfolk here, the resources that might be here, what other information is here. But given the numbers, this all but confirms what you all heard from X. There has to be at least one, probably two of their captains here, such a large number of hobgoblins. And it is a large number. To be fair, you can hear dozens and dozens of enemies. So y'all's approach through the rest of the combat might have to get some, might have to get tricksy. Might have to run and gun, stick and move and hide, or get into more intense tactics. I'm excited for whatever that's going to be. We got a week to think about it. Y'all in chat, we're going to invite you all over to Discord, my Mythlanders out there, and that way, for whoever's interested, you can join us on our Discord channel, and you can help give my players the worst and best ideas. So I'm going to drop that Discord in chat. Come one, come all. You all are invited. We got a couple of channels for you guys. You're also invited along to help decide what little things the townsfolk might be doing. What little things they might be preparing or making to help their allies. But let's check in with you. Lokag, how was your session? Any thoughts on the night?
It was good. I'm glad we got to the docks, and I think we have set up a very good next session. I'm excited to kill some bugbears and do something reckless. I'm glad I held off on my reckless move now that we're so close to the end of session. So
yeah, good call. Would have been a lot of advantaged attacks coming at you that time. Heck yeah. Well, how about you, Pon? Any thoughts for you on the night?
Tonight was fun. I liked the different choices that we had. Kind of should I stay or should I go most of the time. I feel good about these fights too. I feel like we kind of were really pointed about it. We made our choices and we executed it, and everything felt clean tonight despite having some poo rolls at the beginning. They could have been worse. And,
True.
For all your hoodoo weirdo friends out there, I got 11-11 tonight. That's got to be good. So, after complaining so much, too. So I'm fine with it. I had a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. Good news. Jay Fink, how about you?
Yeah, it was fun. The little kind of slow roll investigation and persuasion, calming down of the innkeeper felt like a really good start. And then, kind of a sneaky city, creep to this massive sounding battle. Looking forward to seeing what our strategy is when we have pretty much no AoE force in our group right now. So that's it's an interesting note.
Indeed. Well, Clifford may have slipped away with a couple of flasks of oil. So
that's
With
okay,
a
because I
septic-
have 3 alchemist fire still. So
all right, little something. What's that,
We have-
Pon? Oh, go ahead.
we have
I want to try to spread disease with septic strikes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Sort of AoE.
Making a good start. Is something
And
else you were
don't they have to
saying?
go back to their square, their stone for that? I was just saying, we have the makings of a fireball, just in parts.
Right. Yeah, just got to put them together.
Oil and alchemist fire.
Oh yeah, I could see those being combined the right way and enhancing the effects of both. For sure.
Only we had anyone with a high artificer intelligence.
Yeah, or alchemy tools proficiency or anything like that. For sure. High enough Arcana would also, I would allow that. Maybe a higher DC. Well, X, how about you? Any thoughts for you on the night, Loquitur?
I think everybody else covered it. Good stuff. I'm glad that stealth is reasonably working. X still trying to avoid climb checks at all costs. So
Yeah, send the old man up the tower.
man, when you're 5 crossbow attacks incoming, it's scary.
Yeah.
These guys hit hard. So
I was kind of surprised by that one, to be honest. Like, oh god, here it comes.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I've got that AC up there now.
Yeah, for sure. And it definitely told, because those, they would have been a die 8 plus 2 die 6 if they hit, So that was awesome. Okay, well, heck yeah. Let's see here. I have a couple things I wanted to mention before we drop out. So I run games throughout the week. I have a couple of seats left. A couple of seats that are open. I have a game on Wednesday nights that is a spy campaign. Thieves, spies against an evil empire, and false gods. Pon actually plays in that campaign. And on Thursday, I have a hardcore game called Landfall. It is sort of a mythic world. They found there's gods trapped within their world. There's a strange race of sorceress, sort of like vampire creatures who have corrupted the world, and they're meeting gods and demigods and trying to free the gods and maybe themselves from the world. And that's on Thursday. Also, let me sort of drop that into chat. That is my link to start playing games. It's also, I dropped that link to Seafoot Games. I'll do that again because they're great and they make awesome maps, and I use their maps a lot at my table. So Seafoot Games, they're fantastic. Does anybody have anything else? Oh, I have one other thing. I started working to figure out all the nuts and bolts, and soon content of mine will be available on Roll20 Marketplace that you can drop into your game and run for folks. So those are things I've been doing. I'm looking forward to, aside from our next session next week. But anybody else have any announcements, things they want to share? Anything up that projects they're working on? Kickstarters they backed? Anything? All right. Well, gang, thank you for an awesome session. Mythlanders out there watching, chat has been live tonight. Thank you so much. It's been super fun. I was, too busy as often I am to really get in there and respond. But once we here in a minute, I'll take a couple of minutes, go through chat real quick as we go to raid out. Heck yeah. Y'all, thank you so much. Take care of yourselves this week. Get some rest. Reach out to a friend if you need it. Winter can be tough on us, so yeah. Be good to yourselves out there. And we'll see y'all next week. Say goodnight, Mythlanders.
Bye.
Good night.
Not all.
master of the ring, it's no big thing. With my weapon I swing, pain that I bring would make the bard sing some cold thing. But you don't have to call me that, it was the name the fans had for me, you know. You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer. I don't tell any lies, I'm massive in size. I think it's quite wise when my hammer flies. The naughty goblin dies, the pretty lady cries, but I can compromise. Because I'm really cool and like to do my thing, you know. You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer. I can dance a jig, I can laugh real big, I can snap you like twig, put you in the brig. I don't wear a wig, I do eat like a pig, though please not that fig. I'm really not a fan of those day-type fruits, you know. You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer. I lead the group, cause I'm the poop. If you want the scoop, I'll keep you in the loop. Be part of my troop, then I'll give you really big hugs and stuff, because I do that with people I like, you know? You can call me Lokag, or just buy me another beer.
Some love law, but me, I'm
life again today. This coffee's a bit cold for my liking. People what live in comfortable homes with pretty gardens, they just never get to see much of the world. Me, I go everywhere, get hired to run down scum for money, but also 'cause I don't like 'em much. You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. I don't usually have a posse. Group I'm with now, though, ain't so bad. There's even times when they don't shoot first. Well, better than most, I suppose. You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one. I'm after a bounty, won't help them to run. They'll notice me when I fire my gun. I never signed up for this big rock full of goblins falling from the sky. Well, if someone has to step up and protect these folks, might as well be me. They probably can't afford to pay me what I'm worth, but hey, life's an adventure. I really need to remake this coffee. You won't see me coming, I disappear for fun. Name's Cliff, me and the shadows are one.